Kia ora, my name's Stace. I'm going to run us through a short yin yoga sequence to help us quieten the mind and melt away any tension. So let's get straight into it. If you have 2 blocks and a bolster, fantastic. If not, no stress. Maybe a couple of cushions and a pillow would be ideal. If not, you can even roll up some towels and use them. So starting in Supta Baddha Konasana, also known as butterfly pose, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to just fall out either side. This is where the blocks can kind of come in handy just to soften some pressure on the outside of the legs. We're going to bring the bolster so that it roughly lines up with where the brow line would sit. So just coming back, you may need to adjust it slightly. Open up through the chest. And you may even like to bring an extra smaller cushion or something underneath the head as well to just rest it on. Otherwise it's a little bit more of an opening through the chest. And bringing the arms out either side. You can bring them up higher if that feels better in your body. I find a little lower. It's a little more gentle. And then once you come into the pose, just finding yourself in stillness here. Trusting that we won't be here too long. Just allow yourself to melt into the pose. Start to tune into the breath if you haven't already. Nice, slow, steady inhales in through the nose. And slow, steady exhales out through the nose. Taking a quick body scan through, noticing if there's any areas of tension or tightness that you can just release a little more. Perhaps you're holding on through the hands. Can they relax and curl up towards the sky? How is the neck? Can you soften through the neck? Perhaps relaxing the jaw, muscles of the face. And knowing we won't be here for too much longer, is there any way you can release the grip? Soften a little more. Just a few more breaths here. And when you're ready, You're using the hands to lift the head back up, tuck the chin, and then press up just to remove the bolster or the pillow from behind you. And then allow your legs curl out to straight and come to lie onto your back for a few breaths, perhaps closing the eyes back down. Allowing the arms to come out either side, palms curled up towards the ceiling, or if you prefer, you can bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, just to check in with yourself. See if you can notice any subtle differences in how your body's feeling now from before this pose. Gently draw the knees in towards the chest, give yourself a little squeeze. Perhaps rocking from side to side feels nice. Placing the hands on the backs of the thighs and gently use the legs to roll yourself up. Shoot the hips back and the feet forward. You're going to come into caterpillar, just a simple forward fold. If you know that you are someone that tends to rock their hips back before you lean forward and you feel this a lot in your lumbar spine, I highly recommend sitting up onto a block or a little cushion, something just to take the pressure off so you can come further forward. You can also use a bolster underneath your knees if you're quite tight through the hamstrings. Another option is to perhaps bring that bolster or that cushion on top of the legs and fold forward onto it for long ways. Or if you're a little more flexible, perhaps horizontally. So just choosing whichever feels good in your body. Again, there's no right or wrong. Yin is very much just about how it feels, not about how it looks. And take time to make sure that you feel well adjusted into this pose. And then once you do, see if you can really dedicate yourself to stillness. Remembering that everything is temporary. And trusting that we won't be here for too long. Just allow yourself to soften, surrender into the pose, surrender into stillness. Can you soften the shoulders? Can you soften the ankles, the jaw, the forehead? We'll be here for a few more breaths, so if you have a little more space, it's an opportunity now to adjust your props just to come a little bit deeper. you're ready, on your next inhale, very gently start to walk your hands back in towards your body. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Cross the legs, plant the hands, and into your tabletop. From here, we're just going to keep the hips where they are, and we're just going to walk the hands forward, coming into Anahatasana. Allow the forehead to melt down onto the mat. Creating this beautiful opening through the chest and the shoulders. Anahatasana, or heart melting pose. And again, where can you soften? Can you soften the hands? Perhaps relaxing through the jaw. How can you bring in this idea of trust into your life more often? Can you decide to trust in yourself more? What does the idea of trust even mean to you? Are there times or places where you find it much easier to trust? And sometimes where it's been a little more difficult? Where would you like to soften, surrender and trust a little more? Gently lifting the head, walking the hands back in towards the body. Bring the knees forward and sit back into a seat. Into one more forward fold, this time a wide-legged one, just bringing the legs out wide. And you can use your pillow or your bolster in a few different ways. Perhaps you want to lay it lengthways over your legs and forward like so. Perhaps if you're a little less flexible and you've got the block and the bolster, you may like to create a little bit of a table for yourself to lay on. You can also just lay it forward in front of you, or lengthways your forehead. Again, just choosing whatever option suits your body. Come through any fidgets, and then allow yourself to melt into softness here. Releasing the grip. Feeling into that idea of trust. In yoga, we talk about Ishvara Pranadhana, surrendering to the divine, trusting in something, a higher power, trusting that everything will work out. It's a way of just releasing control. Just knowing that while we can push in some places and work hard for things, We really can't control how everything is going to turn out. And just finding peace in that. Choosing to trust. The opposite of anxiety is not calm, it's trust. In these physical postures, or asana, in yoga, they give us the gift of practicing this, softening into discomfort, trusting that everything is temporary and allowing ourselves to stay soft. And we release the grip through the legs, soften through the hips. Using the breath as a tool as well, taking nice deep inhales and exhales. Be here for about another 30 seconds or so. If you would like to calm a little deeper, perhaps removing any props, and just melting a little deeper for the last few breaths. Very slowly, when you're ready, start to gently walk your hands back in towards your body. And using your hands to guide your legs back in together. Give yourself a little squeeze. And then gently rolling your back down onto the mat, draw the knees in towards the chest. And the arms out wide. And then allow the knees to roll over towards the right. If it's comfortable for your neck, gazing over towards the left. Perhaps even placing that right hand on the left knee if that feels nice. And softening the breath once more. On your next inhale, draw the knees in towards the chest. And slowly lower them over to the left on an exhale. Perhaps your head turns to the right this time if it feels alright in your neck. And how quickly can you soften into these poses? That's the real advanced yoga. Not how the shape looks, but how can you react to it? Finding that softness, practicing releasing the grip. Relax through the jaw. inhale draws your knees back in towards your chest. Give yourself one last little hug. Take any little movements your body's calling out for before Shavasana, if that means coming into a happy baby. Any other little movements. Rolling out onto the mat. If you have a blanket, you may like to place one on top of you. If you have a bolster, it may feel nice to place the bolster underneath the knees. And just allow yourself to fully melt into the mat. Let's take one more deep inhale together. Inhale, filling out. Feel the belly and the chest rise in all directions. Pausing at the top, sip in a little more air. Keep holding. One last little bit of effort. And then exhale, release it all with a sigh. Feel your body melt into the mat, knowing you're completely held by the earth beneath you. Allow yourself to become as heavy as you need. Becoming aware of the feet, feel them soften and relax. The ankles, the shins, the knees completely soft. Feel the thighs and the hips completely relaxed. Relax through the stomach. The rib cage softens, relax. Feel the shoulders melt down away from the ears. The upper arms and the elbows relaxed and heavy against the mat. The lower arms, the wrists, backs of the hands. Notice the hands completely relaxed and curled up towards the sky. The throat softens. The tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth as the jaw relaxes. Completely soft. The back of the head soft. The muscles of the face. Your whole body relaxed and heavy against the mat. Allow yourself to stay as long as you need. Shavasana.